With all the exciting hype surrounding Valentine's, you probably have some decent gift ideas swirling around, but you're waiting for the perfect one. Well, 1-800-Flowers.com is your answer, because right now when you order early, you can get 12 multicolored roses for only $19.99, or double it to 24 multicolored roses for only $10 more. It's an unbelievable offer from 1-800-Flowers. This gorgeous bouquet of multicolored roses is a perfect surprise she's guaranteed to love. And remember, 1-800-Flowers is here for all your upcoming Valentine's needs. A dozen multicolored roses for only $19.99, or an upgrade to 24 multicolored roses for just $10 more. It's an amazing offer. When it comes to life's meaningful moments, choose 1-800-Flowers.com. To order a dozen multicolored roses for $19.99 or upgrade to 24 multicolored roses for only $10 more, go to 1-800-Flowers.com, click on the radio icon, and enter code WINGO. Again, go to 1-800-Flowers.com, click on the radio icon, and enter code WINGO. That's 1-800-Flowers.com, code WINGO.
We are back live from the Mall of America inside the Hard Rock Cafe. Golic and Wingo as we begin our Super Bowl coverage here. The Skol Chant is up on ESPN Radio and ESPN2 as we are presented by Progressive Insurance. And our phone guests join us on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. Now, Mike, why do you think right now, we've been on the show, this is hour number 4, why do you think now people are suddenly doing the Skol Chant?
Well, maybe because of the person we have sitting to my right.
Maybe.
Could be.
And that would be your hometown hero, ladies and gentlemen. Vikings wide receiver Adam Thielen is here. And as the Vikings have done all year, they are feeling Thielen. Adam, thanks for being with us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
I know you wanted to be here under different circumstances, as being the part of the first team to ever play a Super Bowl in their home stadium. But just as a Viking in general and a guy from the state of Minnesota, what does it mean for all this to be here this week?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Obviously, like you said, it'd be nice to be playing in the home stadium. We had a nice little opportunity there, but it is what it is. But yeah, it's pretty cool for this city. It's an amazing city. It's so clean and it's so friendly, and there's so many great things to see in the city. So it's great. It's great, and I think the city's handling it well so far, and look forward to the rest of the week.
We'll get into some of those things as the ice fishing and everybody telling me where to get the Juicy Lucy's now all over the place.
I'm all in it.
So we'll get into all that. But then you guys, after you were knocked out of the playoffs, y'all had the mini reunion at the Pro Bowl. A bunch of you played in that, and if the NFC would have won, you probably would have had either Kyle or Harrison Smith as the MVPs of that. But so is that any bit of a consolation prize at all that you could put that away, the loss, and move on to that, even though knew you weren't going to be in the Super Bowl?
Yeah, it actually was really nice because we were able to, when you end a season, usually you have the rest of the offseason to think about it. Where this time we were able to just go back, play football, get around a bunch of guys that love the game of football, and like I said, go catch some passes, go play a game. And then kind of just try to forget about the last one.
And the one thing you don't have to worry about in the Pro Bowl is getting tackled, right? Because rarely anybody was getting brought to the ground. But it seemed to work out, though, huh?
I did like, by the way, it was pretty clear in the Pro Bowl that the refs were like, once your momentum stopped, we are blowing
the whistle. Quick whistle.
I think I saw 3 people on the ground in the entire game, but it worked. I mean, the ratings for the Pro Bowl were up some 26%. Now, this hour of Golic and Wingo brought to you by La Quinta Inns and Suites. Book at LQ.com and win at business. As we said, Adam Thielen is here with us. Can you take us through? Actually, I was with some of your teammates last night, some offensive linemen, Nick Everett, Jeremiah Searles, doing something over at the NFL Experience. How was the transition for you guys getting ready to play again for the NFC Championship game after the amazing 7-heaven call that got you there? Because the emotions of that thing had to be peaking you so high. How quickly or how strongly was Mike Zimmer able to say, okay, that's great, we got another game to play?
Yeah, I think we did a good job. I think in this league we're so used to just going boom, Tuesday off, Wednesday back to work, and getting on to the next opponent. And I think we did a good job of doing that again. But at the same time, I think we saw that clip of the Minneapolis Miracle about 5,000 times, and we're constantly getting reminded about it. So it's hard to get over something like that, especially when you're emotional win like that, and you feel almost like it's fate and that you should be able to take care of the next one. But it is what it is, and we know that we have to play better than that. We probably played our worst game of football that next week, and we got to figure out why we did that.
Yeah, you got to be careful of that fate thing. Sometimes it can sneak up on you. And in that game, now if you play long enough, you all have games like that. But unfortunately, it was in a more, high visible and meaningful game. Was there a point during that Philly game where you're on the sideline where you're just like, wow, I can't believe this is happening on both sides of the ball?
Yeah, I think that came when in the fourth quarter when they had the ball and were running the clock out. It was like, man, what just happened? Because I think early in the game we went down and scored. We got another defensive stop, got the ball back, and we were moving the ball again. It felt like, hey, we're right where we want to be. We're doing the things that we normally do to win football games, and then the tide shifted and all the momentum went the other way. And I think everything happened so fast we didn't even really realize what happened. And before you know it, they were celebrating and going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Vikings wideout Adam Thielen with us, joining us by Straight Talk Wireless, giving us the Straight Talk best phones, best networks, no contracts. By the way, I've just been getting some scouting intel from you, from a friend of mine. Says Thielen is my guy. Ask him about his golf game. You're playing in Tahoe this year, right? Is that?
I'm hoping they invite me back.
Was that bad? Was it that bad the first time around?
It wasn't that bad, but no, I'm a huge golf fan. I love to play. I've been playing since I was a little guy, and definitely need to get my game a little bit better because I want to be in the final pairing this year.
How good are you? What's your?
I'm like
we got to convert him to golf. By the way, he's a stout. He's
listen.
This is the best thing ever.
Adam, I'm going to tell you something. When you're not playing well, do you get frustrated out there and stuff?
Absolutely.
Okay. You know what I do? I shoot mid 90s, drunk or sober, and I'm happy as a clam either way. So you know what? Nothing affects me, so I don't need to do any more.
Setting the bar high.
That's it. How good is your game?
I'm a 3 or 4.
Really?
Yeah, and I wish I could play more. Obviously, I have a family, young family.
Right.
Forget that.
Yeah.
Get out there and hit the ball, Adam.
Sorry, kids.
I know. I need to get out there more because I do really enjoy it. And like I said, I've been playing since I was a little boy, so I should be a lot better than I am. But
so should I. But that's
that's how it always is.
But by the way, my source coming from my friend who's a great Minnesotan in his own right, Marty Fish.
Okay,
that's Marty. That's Marty giving you grief. Former great tennis. I think he was at one point #1 U.S. player and done a great job. So that's
my
Marty.
Guy. Yeah, that's my guy. And he's cheating because he plays every single day.
Well, see that's the thing with Marty. He says he never plays.
Yeah.
He plays
one of those,
all the time. Oh, his line is when we come in and do Wimbledon together. He's like, I haven't played in a month and shot a 64.
Yeah,
whatever, dude. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. So no matter how good you get at golf, don't be Marty Fish.
Yeah, I need to beat him this year, though. That's my.
There you go.
I have confidence in you because I don't have confidence in him. But that's a separate issue entirely.
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously you played this Eagles team, and you know what they're capable of. What was the thing that impressed you the most about taking them on in the NFC Championship game?
Well, I think when that week of preparation, when I was looking at film, I think the thing that impressed me the most about that defense was there was no open receiver. I mean, there was never a guy that was catching a ball wide open, running after catch, things like that. Every ball was contested. So going into that game, we knew that they're going to be all over us. They're going to be holding. They're going to be grabbing, and that we have to make catches when it's contested. So that's credit to them. I mean, obviously they have a front four that can rush the passer, and that makes it a little more fun for those guys in the back end to just kind of play free and attack it. They're able to jump routes, and they know that teams aren't going to have a whole lot of time to throw deep balls and things like that.
It seems like they're a defense, you would know, you tell me, that makes frustration set in with you because of the way they play with the pulling and tugging and grabbing and trying and getting away with some of that stuff where you guys get frustrated with it.
Yeah, for sure. And then, like I said, when you're having to consistently have to catch the ball with somebody all over you, it makes you frustrated. And another thing is they don't give up the deep ball. They play really far off. They don't play a whole lot of press man. They drop a lot of guys in coverage because they have so much faith in that front four. So that's frustrating as well because you're constantly having to dump it down, check down, and you don't get those deep shots. Whereas a receiver, that's what you want. Yeah. You want that big play. You want to move the ball quickly. So that's kind of their game.
I always wondered, take us on the field a little bit. When you're running a route, do you know at some point in that route there's no way you're getting the ball?
Yeah, for sure. There is times where you're like, shoot, I have no shot. But the good thing with Case this year, he was able to break the pocket and, kind of create extra time. So at that point, then you do have a chance to get the ball. So, some quarterbacks, you know when you're going to get the ball and when you're not going to get the ball. Case was more of a wild card just because he could break the pocket and he could use his feet to let us give us some time.
So let people know when we talk about breaking the pocket, when basically the routes are over and he breaks the pocket, what are the rules? Because it's not just willing, unless it is, you tell me.
Get open.
But are there rules to where you are on the field in relation to what you're supposed to do if he breaks the pocket?
Yeah, technically, the deepest guy is supposed to go deep, and if you're nearest to him, you're supposed to go to the sideline. Things like that, but really, when it comes down to it, and in the games, you're going in the game, you're just trying to get open.
It is kind of playground,
yeah,
huh?
Absolutely. And I think that's the coolest thing about Case is if you do get open, you're going to get the ball. And so for me, it was as soon as I saw him break the pocket, I'm trying to find green grass, and hopefully he can see me.
Adam Thielen, Vikings wide out with us this morning here at the Mall of America inside the Hard Rock Cafe. You mentioned Case Keenum. The Vikings are in maybe the most unique quarterback situation I can think of, especially for a team that did as well as you guys did this year. All three of the top quarterbacks on your roster are on expiring contracts. Teddy Bridgewater, Case Keenum, and Sam Bradford. As a receiver, are you like, what's going on here? Who's going to be pitching me the rock next year?
Yeah, for sure. I'm a little nervous. I'm just trying to stay in it and see what they're going to do. And another thing is the offense coordinator.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sherman's
that's a big.
now the head coach of the Giants.
That's a big deal too because we're going to have a whole different playbook, and it'll be interesting to see who that they're going to pick for that. So there's some question marks, that's for sure. And as a receiver, that's kind of a little nerve-wracking. But I have a lot of confidence in our GM and our management and coaches. They're gonna make it work, and they want to win, and they want to win just as bad as we do. So they're gonna do what's best for this team.
We always hear about the wide receivers. Even the wide receivers admit they're the divas of the crew out there.
Wide divas, as I call them. Not you.
Now, you've come up with this a little different than the first round, a pick kind of guy of your route to where you are right now. But have you gotten to the point now you're an integral part of the offense where you always tell your quarterback, you're open? I'm open.
Yeah.
I'm open all the time.
Yeah, I have a bad problem with that. And, the quarterbacks give me a lot of crap for that because I always come to the sideline. I don't even realize I'm doing it in the game, but come to the sideline, man, where were you looking? I was wide open. And then they look at the thing, they're like, you had three guys on you. I don't know what you're talking about.
But that's the confidence you have to be successful in this league, right?
As a playmaker, you want the ball in your hands. You want opportunities. As a receiver, you wish they'd throw it to you every single down and give you an opportunity no matter who's on you. You feel like you can make a play. And like you said, that's kind of the confidence that you have to have. You kind of have to have a little arrogance when you play this game to play at a high level.
All right, we had Commissioner Roger Goodell on our show yesterday, and we asked him this question, and he kind of chuckled before the answer.
Yeah.
And it says they're going to figure this out this offseason.
I already know what you're going to say.
So to you, a guy who has to do it, what is a catch?
Oh man, I think there's two different areas of what a catch is. I think there's the in the field catch, and then there's the in the end zone catch. I think it's totally different rules, or that's how it's been. I feel like when you're in the end zone, the ball cannot move whatsoever, and it can't touch the ground. You have to have obviously 2 feet in bounds and all that. When you're in the field of play, I feel it's a little more lenient. The ball can move as long as it doesn't touch the ground, things like that.
Should it be that difficult?
I don't think so. Yeah.
Well, no, and,
it makes it tough on us, especially with the 18 different cameras you have on you.
Roger basically said the same thing to us. He was like, it shouldn't be that difficult. And I broached the topic, and I'm hopeful that he's serious when he thinks they're going to look at this. What always bothered me, Adam, is that the possession rules are completely different when you're a runner as opposed to a receiver. We've seen this a million times, whether it's a quarterback or a running back. He starts from the 2 or the 1 yard line, jumps up in the air, the ball crosses the plane, it's knocked out, but the ball broke the plane, so it's a touchdown. Then you have a receiver like yourself who maybe catches the ball on the 2 or 3 yard line, makes a football move with complete possession, crosses the plane, and then falls to the ground and the ball comes out. That's an incomplete pass. There can't be the different standards for 2 people who have possession of the ball before they get to the goal line and then completely change when they cross the goal line.
Yeah, I agree.
We're starting
crazy.
this.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, you look at that the Pittsburgh play. I think
Jesse James.
Was it the last game of the season or second to last? I mean, that's a touchdown. Like you said, he caught the ball, he dove for it, the ball crossed the end zone. That's it. It should be over right there. But then the ball moved, and they said it wasn't a catch.
So what if they called you up and say, Adam, what is your definition of a catch?
I'd say
Look at my highlights, man. Check out my highlights on YouTube.
I'd say you have 2 feet in bounds, you have possession of the ball, and the ball doesn't touch the ground. I think if the ball moves and it doesn't touch the ground, I still think it's a catch. But like I said, you have possession, you have 2 feet in bounds, and the ball doesn't hit the ground. I think that's a catch.
The goal line thing, though, it should be the same, right? It has to be the same for everybody, right?
Yeah, and I think that's where the rules kind of messed up right now. I mean, to have a catch be ruled differently in the end zone compared to in the field, I think is kind of crazy. So I think that's kind of the biggest thing that they need to figure out and make it a little simpler for those refs. I mean, I think the refs did a good job with the rules they had, and they called it the right way, but I think it should be different.
And even Roger Goodell said don't blame the refs. He said they're just trying to interpret a rule which is very difficult to interpret out on the field. And then they know the eye in the sky may change what they call anyway, so it does have to be a little tough on them. You mentioned earlier, or we talked about you going to the Pro Bowl. It was your first Pro Bowl. For, again, a guy who wasn't a first-rounder, the expectation was for you to be at a lot of those. You worked your way up to it. How was that experience? Now you're in front of all the top players in the league.
Yeah, it was really cool. I'm so glad I went. Was able to bring my family out there and have my little man on the field with me almost every day. And then just being around those guys. I mean, it's really cool just to be around a bunch of guys that love the game of football, are extremely talented, obviously, but it goes beyond that. Those guys aren't there because they're extremely talented. They're there because they love football, they're competitive, and they work their tails off. I mean, it was so fun to see guys just competing, even though it's the Pro Bowl and we're in practice and they're going full speed when it's just a walkthrough, because guys just love to be out there. So it was a really cool experience for me, and I'm glad I went.
Golic and Wingo with you on the road, presented by Progressive Insurance, live from the Hard Rock Cafe here in the Mall of America in Minneapolis. Adam Thielen is with us on the set here. Adam, we're going to hear from Commissioner Roger Goodell, and hopefully at his State of the League address later on today, which will be on NFL Live when it's on the air on ESPN. We'll get a little more clarity about what he wants to do with the catch rule. But as for you going forward, you mentioned Pat Shurmur, your offensive coordinator, is now the head coach of the New York Giants. For those Giants fans that haven't sort of been following Pat Shurmur as closely as you have over the last few years, what do you think they can expect from their new head coach?
Well, I'd say, first of all, he's really good at adapting. He's not a guy that's going to be stubborn to what he does and, hey, this is how I do it, this is the only way to do it. He's going to be a guy that, hey, if this play doesn't work, or if these players don't like these plays or don't do these plays well, we'll throw them out and we'll figure out what these guys do best, and we're going to put that on the field. So, he's really good about just simplifying things, letting us play fast, letting us kind of do our own thing a little bit. I think some guys can be really strict on your splits and how you run a route. He's a little bit more lenient to say, hey, you obviously have to be at this point at this time, but get open and do it the fastest way as possible. So it's nice to have a coordinator like that kind of gives you a little freedom.
How do you deal with you guys as individuals? Because as we know with the Giants, they had some locker room issues, and so the head coach has to kind of set the tempo. He was kind of the head coach of the offense for you guys. How is he at dealing with the individual players?
Yeah, I think he's good. I think it's difficult no matter who you are as a coach, and no matter who the players are, to really be on everybody's side, because some guys aren't going to be able to play, and some guys aren't going to get the ball every time like they want to. So it's a difficult position. I mean, you only have one football, and you have a lot of guys that want it. So it's a difficult job, but I think he does a really good job of just saying, hey, I'm out here trying to win games, and that's my only goal. I don't care what you guys think. I just want to win, and I'm going to do the best I can to help you do that.
Adam Thielen with us here on the set. The Vikings wide out. Okay, later on today, Golic is going ice fishing.
Yes.
Or as Tony Jones said, fake ice fishing. Because he's going to be in the heater with the beer.
Yes, I am.
He's going to be in the ice house. He's not going to be looking around for the great fish. I'm going to be doing the rides here at the roller coaster here at Mall of America. What other things? Because we had you on earlier, and we made you our unofficial tour guide of Minneapolis. So give us a list of 3 other things that we need to cross off our list while we're here.
3 other things. Well, I saw that they're doing the the zip line.
Zip line, yeah.
Mississippi. I think that's pretty sweet. I want to do that myself.
We want to do that, yes.
Yeah, I think that'd be pretty cool. Let's see, what else? Well, you got to go skating, ice skating.
Skating?
Yeah.
Is there a preferred location?
There's downtown St. Paul, which is pretty cool, but
okay.
I think the old pond hockey, get out there and shoot the puck
old-time
around.
hockey, Eddie Shore, yeah.
Yeah, I think that'd be
Let's
cool.
go look for a bunch of kids playing backyard hockey, and we'll go in the game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Could take them out.
That'd be perfect. And third one, Let me see here.
Juicy Lucy's been behind a lot of
Well,
people's
yeah,
lists.
Juicy Lucy's great.
Okay,
but,
there it is.
But the problem is there's
recommendation.
like 8 different places that claim that they have the first Juicy Lucy. So
We're
you don't
not
really
looking
know.
for the first.
No, we're just looking
for a good one.
We're just looking
Juicy
for charred
Lucy, yeah.
beef with cheese inside it.
Pretty much.
We're pretty simple cavemen.
Well, yeah, you definitely have to do that though. It's worth it.
Okay, so we should probably do the Juicy Lucy first and work it off with the zip lining and the ice.
So the problem,
skating.
I can't Juicy Lucy ice fish and drink a beer because I only have 2 hands. And
They're
let me
big
tell you,
hands.
burger, beer, the pole is losing. You know what I mean?
Well,
the fishing
you know
pole
what?
is losing.
You put it under your
But that's
foot.
the good thing about ice fishing. You just have it hanging
That's
there.
true.
You know what I mean?
Exactly right.
Just
And you
step
just
on the
chill.
pole, and
Yeah.
then if it bites, you wiggle
Have
it. You
you
pick it up.
have you ice fished?
Yeah, so my hometown, Detroit Lakes, there's basically a little town on our lake that's just ice fishing. So, I did a lot growing up and had a lot of fun, just hanging out, playing cards, playing cribbage, and drinking beer, I guess, and fishing.
Yeah,
I guess he said. I guess he did.
guess.
I guess. I don't
You're
know.
allowed to say it.
I might have had
You're an
one
adult.
I might have had 1 or 74. I'm not sure. Okay, before we let you go, tell us about the Adam and Caitlin Foundation.
Yeah, so it hasn't officially been up yet, but we're about to start it, and it's going to be a really cool thing. I think we're in the point of our career where we want to really make sure that we're giving back and using this platform that we have to making sure that we're doing things in the community to help out. And obviously, being from here, we're really excited to be able to give back to this area and this community, and we're really going to focus on children that are sick and their families and trying to help out in any way we can.
Well, that's awesome.
That's fantastic. And comfortable is the wrong word because a player never wants to be comfortable going into next year. Is this the most secure, good feeling you have going into an off season, leading in another year than you've had, or was it last year? Or?
Well, last year I felt pretty good because
yeah.
I just signed the deal and got some guaranteed money, so I felt pretty good.
That's pretty nice.
That would do it.
Yeah,
bet the wife was really happy about that.
Yeah,
too. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. So it made it and it's tough. It's tough for my wife, obviously, before because we didn't know if I was going to be here, New York. Who knows? If you get cut and things like that, going and doing tryouts and doing all that. So the last 3-4 years have been kind of a whirlwind for her, and for me, I'm just out there playing football. I don't really think about it, but I'm glad. That's why it was kind of nice to be able to just say, hey, we're going to be here for a couple of years for sure, and have a little bit of security is nice.
I like your chances of sticking around.
Yeah, I do too. I think it worked out all right.
Going out on a limb there, but I like it. Adam Thielen, thanks for being
Adam.
with us.
Appreciate
Adam
it.
Thielen with us, ladies and gentlemen. Golden Wingo with you here on ESPN Radio and ESPN2. They're laughing at my dance moves.
It was horrific.
Well,
That's
I
why.
agree. No, I embrace my horrificness.
Yeah.
I'm not running
You
from
did
it.
right there.
I'm in. I run smack dab into that wall, and that wall hits me back.
Yeah.
We are presented. Thank you, sir. We are presented by Progressive Insurance. All phone guests join us via the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line, but we have a cavalcade of guests that have been here with us this morning, and the cavalcade continues, ladies and gentlemen. Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson is here, joining us on set, giving us the Straight Talk, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. Best phones, best networks, no contract. He's here on behalf of Old Spice. If you're watching on ESPN2, you can see the wonderful T-shirt he's wearing. First, thanks for being here, and I know you would have rather been here under different circumstances. Your rookie season cut short, but it was an amazing thing to watch how quickly you adapted to the NFL, and that team in Houston rallied around you.
Oh yeah, it was awesome. Just being able to take control of the team, especially early on in the season, and have all the veteran guys kind of rally around me, so we can try to have some success and just try to change the culture a little bit and just make it more fun. And our biggest thing on offense was score points, and if we can score points, our defense is gonna try to hold them under the amount we get and try to win games.
No matter where you're picked, a first-round guy, so expectations are high. Then it's a quarterback position, so it gets magnified. It's still got to be an experience the first time you go into a regular season game, forgetting the preseason. So take us back then. You didn't start the season, but then coach comes to you and take us through the process of telling you you're going in and your first experience and what that was like getting in a game.
It was kind of weird because I've always started my career, but once I got to the NFL, I had to take the back seat, and then once we came in at halftime, we were down, and he came up to me and he was like, "Hey, it's your time. Make sure you rally around the guys and make sure that you have the confidence to go in there and try to make a comeback." And I went in first drive, went down and scored a touchdown, but right after that, he said it's my team, and you just take it and run with it.
When he said that to you at halftime, did you see it coming at all, or were you completely shell-shocked?
I kind of seen it coming. I prepared myself. I just never knew when I was going to be able to play, but I just made sure that I was prepared. And once he said it, I was ready to go.
Well, you certainly were.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no question about it. The interesting thing was how quickly everything seemed to click. Because for the last couple of years, as you said, the Texans' defense, as Deshaun Watson is here with us, had been great, but the offense, mainly because of the quarterback position, had struggled. When did you know, hey, I'm good enough to do this at a high level? How quickly did you have that confidence once you got in a game?
Once I got in the game, it was probably right after game 2 when we went up to New England and we played. We went head to head with the team that's getting ready to play for the Super Bowl.
Absolutely,
on the road.
You guys
and,
did.
We came down to the wire, but once I played that game, I knew that I could play at this level at a high level and compete with the best. And once I knew that, everyone can feel that energy, and we just kind of took it and ran with it.
How much, because we see players that come out early, especially quarterbacks from college, how much can you attribute to the experience you had in college? Because when you came in, I said I had thought you were the most ready quarterback, and I would have taken you as the first quarterback in that draft class because of that. Is there something to that of the experience from college that carries over?
I think so. Just mean the amount of reps that you get in a live game. I played in the past 2 years. I played, I think, 34 games. And so being able to have all those reps and be able to see different looks and play against some of the best players that's in the NFL, that's some of the top players right now, it was very, very helpful for me. So when I came into the league, I was able to kind of transition very quickly and manage things.
Well, you certainly did. And your head coach at Clemson, Dabo Swinney, who we've had on the show a bunch of times, told everybody that if you pass on Deshaun Watson, you're passing on Michael Jordan. So he set the bar pretty high.
Yeah, he did.
And then we looked this up, which was great. After the game where you scored 57, you scored 57 against the Titans, 57-14. We actually looked up how many points Michael Jordan scored in a game in his rookie year. The most he ever scored was 49. So you did it. You did it. Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Actually were better than Michael Jordan coming out of the gate. When you heard Dabo say that, were you like, hey, man, I love you, or don't put the bar that high, man?
Well, we always set the bar high at Clemson University. And, that's just the confidence he have in me. And, Coach Swinney been around a lot of great players, and he's seen a lot of great players. And, that's how he really feels. So, I respect his opinion and what he said about me. But, I have a long way to go to be able to have that type of name, and I understand that. So, each day counts, and each year counts, and it's a new year. So, what I did last year, I have to do even better this year and start over.
Well, you got one on Jordan. Just know that. You got one. You got one. You got one.
Deshaun Watson joining us, Texans quarterback. So usually if you play long enough, you ride a roller coaster of emotion. It took you all of a year to ride that, to get in the game and start in your first game, take over the team and be playing at an unbelievable level, and then getting hurt and know you're going to have to rehab and wait till next year. So take us through that part of it. You had the high and then you had that low of getting hurt.
The low was it was shocking. It happened in practice, kind of a weird thing, and I just kind of made a move, and I just kind of just fell. And, I hopped up, ran off the field, didn't think anything was wrong, but the trainer was just like, hey, let's go to the MR and just kind of get it checked. And we got it checked, and the results came back that I had a torn ACL, and it was just kind of weird. But I kind of been through the situation before, and I just kind of went back to my roots and my support cast, and I have a great team around me that's been supporting me, so I'm getting through it very well.
Did you really not think anything was wrong, or were you just kind of hoping amongst hope that nothing was wrong?
I really didn't think anything was wrong.
So you didn't feel it was loose or anything like that?
I did not.
Wow.
I just kind of just made like a cut. I thought my foot just got stuck and I just fell, but I've been through my left one in college, and I felt the pop. And I knew then, but for this one, I didn't know at all.
Interesting. And so where are you with the rehab? How's that all going?
3 months out. Rehab is very, very, very good, and I'm ahead of schedule, so everything's going smooth, and try to keep it on that, and try to get better each and every day.
Well, you certainly are looking like you're well on your way as Deshaun Watson is with us, the Texans quarterback. Again, out of Clemson, you guys won the national championship that one year. You got back into the college football playoff, but fell a little short against Alabama. What do you think Clemson needs to do next to get back into that level and make sure you guys are one more time loaded for bear?
Just continue to do what they're doing. Whatever they did last year, they have to go 10 times harder because they fell a little bit short. So still have that same mentality, still have that same grind and hunger within themselves, which they will, and Coach Swinney's going to make sure of that.
And also what happened on the defensive side of the ball, those guys coming
back. They all came back. All those defensive linemen. I was shocked
It's
by
like
that.
an NFL D line.
Exactly.
It's unreal. I mean,
so crazy.
that's just explain that. I mean, is that just because of the program, because of Dabo, because of they want to taste it again? I mean, what was the thought process then?
Honestly, kind of playing with those guys, probably the brotherhood and the family feel that they had, and I feel like they, most of those guys could have came out and been first, second, third round and been very, very productive at the NFL level. But I feel like there's more that they want to achieve, and it's bigger than just football. It's more about family and just creating that real great atmosphere for the university.
Well, listen, the kid Christian Wilkins, is that the defense who did the splits after the national championship?
Yeah.
Dude, I pulled something watching that. I mean, how limber is that guy? I mean, this is a 300-pound, 310-pound defensive lineman who, after they won the title a year ago, literally did the splits on middle. I'm like, I could heal my hamstring.
There's no shot.
There's
just no shot.
He's very athletic. I mean, he can dunk. He can do 360s. He can backflip.
And he can sack the quarterback and disrupt an offensive line.
He can maul people as well.
Exactly.
So you went through the whole pre-draft thing last year, which it blows my mind that after you're done playing real football, how you get judged on what you do in shorts and a T-shirt. But this is the process we have. So along those lines, what advice, if any, do you give to the Baker Mayfields, the Josh Rosen, the Sam Darnold, the Josh Allens, these guys that are all getting ready to go through that on what is really to prioritize?
Honestly, with this draft process, I'll say take advantage of every opportunity. I know it seems like it's a waste of time, but something good is always going to come out of it. And learn as much as you can, regardless if it's a team that might not need a quarterback. I had interviews with like the Oakland Raiders where they have Derek Carr, but I knew that I probably wasn't going to get drafted by him. But at the same time, I can learn football from that coaching staff. And so, just try to take as much as you can through the process. And then once it's over and once you get on the team, put that behind you and get focused on football.
Play actual football again instead of training for the jumping and the sprinting, huh?
Exactly.
Deshaun, obviously it looked like it came very easily to you, but we know there's a lot of hard work behind that. When you got on the field for the first time, what was the thing you were like, whoa, I need to do this better at this level?
I say the speed of the game and being able to process things very, very quickly, going from one side of the field to the other side and not making that mistake. And I learned that quick versus Jacksonville in the second half, how something might seem open and then, it's closed. And
window's a little smaller in the NFL.
Exactly.
Men playing that game, huh?
Right. So once I learned that, I kind of made sure that each and every week that I was focused on making the right decision and knowing where I was going with the ball before I even snap it.
All right, you played the Patriots and, again, had a chance to either win or tie late in that contest. It looked like you were going to be able to run out the clock maybe if DeAndre had gotten that first down before Brady came back and led him to that score. So who do you like in this contest? Who do you like, the Patriots, or what do you think about the Eagles? Putting you on the spot here on a Wednesday.
Yes.
And reminder, there are people out there in Patriots and Eagles jerseys. I'm just pointing that out.
It's tough. The Eagles have a great team. Nick Foles is playing very, very well. The defense is lights out. But you can never count out Brady. And
you saw that firsthand.
I've seen it firsthand live, playing against him, and I've seen it last week against a very, very good Jacksonville team. So I'm not sure. I'm not going to pick.
You know what? He has a future in politics.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the way to go.
Deshaun Watson is here with us. We know you're here with Old Spice, so tell us about the stuff you're doing with Old Spice.
Yeah, I'm actually glad to be back with Old Spice again and teaming up with them, presenting a new captain, Reds collection, and, people can be able to get their premium scent and not have to have, a pricey different brand.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's a great time to see you here. It's great to have you here. Hated to see that injury. We look forward to seeing you back on the field better than ever in 2018.
Yes, Thank you.
Deshaun Watson.
And maybe he can help you out since you forgot deodorant this morning.
Well, yeah,
he could have helped you out.
Actually, you know what? I think the one they gave me was Old Spice.
Yeah,
so it worked out okay.
There you go. That worked out.
I've got a wonderful scent. Our scents are the same right now. And literally that's all that's the same between us and Deshaun Watson. All right, we are here with you, wrapping up, coming close to the end of our first day here at the Hard Rock Cafe in the Mall of America. We had a great cavalcade of guests.
Sure did. That's the beauty of coming to the Super Bowl. Is first and foremost, everybody that comes out.
You're good.
So
all you
early
people
in the morning.
Front of us. You.
We really appreciate that.
You're good.
And then the guests that come on the show, I mean, it's just ridiculous from Hall of Famer to Super Bowl champs. It's incredible.
We had Dan Marino, Hall of Fame, Terrell Davis, 2-time Super Bowl champ, Hall of Fame, Tony Dungy, Hall of Fame. Of course, no surprise, the biggest applause today came from Adam Thielen.
Because you just love stories like that.
Yes.
Guys that aren't the first-round picks that are supposed to be the all-everythings, and someone that just comes up and proves himself by getting a chance and takes the advantage of their opportunity.
Well, if you think about it, Adam Thielen really is the Rocky story.
Yeah.
I mean, he really is. Undrafted, local kid, wanted to do well in his hometown and absolutely has done that. And, of course, Philadelphia is here, and one of their biggest supporters is Sylvester Stallone.
See him with the Philly jersey.
Very tight-fitting jersey.
Yeah, well, do you think he's not
Sly
good?
at, 60, whatever
When you're built like that, you're going to wear something that's kind of tight to show it off,
He's been just professing his loyalty to the Eagles on Instagram, so we'll see if they can pull off the underdog story. But now it gets really interesting because we get into sort of game plan for the week. You get a lot of work in before the teams get here, but starting Wednesday, you do the opening night and you have probably a lesser practice on Tuesday, just go through some light things. Wednesday's always game plan day, Mike, and teams start taking it pretty seriously.
Yeah, I think everything's off your routine of what you're normally used to, and then you get to this day, and I think players can kind of exhale. They say,
you guys
okay,
are creatures of habit.
Well, without question. Yeah. And you used to get thrown out of it because occasionally if you're an East Coast team and you have two West Coast games, sometimes you'll stay for the week out there. So you get thrown off your schedule a bit. You go out to London and play the game. You get thrown off your schedule a bit. So we are creatures of habit. So I do think there is that exhaling of walking into the meetings this morning and going, okay.
Right.
Here we go.
It feels normal.
Now, yes, even though we're not in our building or what we, would be our normal place to get ready, we're doing what we normally do at this time to get you in that mode because I'll say it again, and I think it's so important for the players to say the quicker you make it a football game, the better you are. Because it is an awful feeling when you're in a big game, and even though I haven't played in the Super Bowl, I've been in big games, even whatever sport it is. And I remember Troy Aikman talking about it and others. Before the game even starts, you feel like you're out of energy and you're like, what the hell's going on? I haven't started the game and I have nothing. Right. I feel like I'm winded. I feel like I'm spent. And it comes back because it's just that adrenaline, that hype, and you just feel like you're worn out. And you're like, oh my God, I have a Super Bowl to play, and I'm already tired. But that comes back, so it's a matter of getting through all of that stuff.
And again, we'll have the State of the League today from Roger Goodell. He gave us a sneak peek on that. A Golic and Wingo in our Sports Center is brought to you by 1-800-Flowers.com. Right now, you can get 12 multicolored roses for $19.99 or double it for $10 more to 24 multicolored roses. To order, go to 1-800-Flowers.com, click on the radio icon, and enter the code WINGO. So we're off to a great start here, and we got a great day coming up again tomorrow here.
Yes.
Anthony Munoz, Hall of Famer, one of the best to ever play offensive line.
One of the most respected players that has ever played this game.
Will join us, former worker with us, a teammate of us on NFL Live. Former Viking Jared Allen will be here. Played very well. Tight end Greg Olsen, up for Walter Payton Man of the Year. Carolina Panthers tight end will join us. Emmitt Smith, Super Bowl MVP, 3 times a winner of the Super Bowl, will be here. Luke Kuechly, and a guy I'm curious to see the reaction here in Minnesota, Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers will be here tomorrow. We'll see you then.